This tale is, as all bard songs are, an adaptation. It may contain adult themes and strong language. Welcome, dear listeners, to Abyss.
Welcome to episode 12 of Abyss. Who are you? What are you? And in honour of National Lost Sock Memorial Day, describe the sock you miss the most. Starting with Shiraz.
Hello, I'm Shiraz and I play Ishidoro the rogue who's into eating things and demonology. I really had these cool socks that basically had the Hulk's face on them. And when I put it out, it would be like the angry Hulk roaring up at my face. And I lost them quite early on, and I still have the singular sock. I don't know why I keep it. It's a sentimental value.
Fair enough. Wednesday?
Hi, I'm Wednesday. I play Layla, the Tiefling ex-soldier. My favorite pair of socks was actually a pair that a friend of mine bought in the US when she went to see Wicked, the theatre show, and she bought a pair of socks there and she gave it to me as a gift. And then, as per usual, the one goes missing and then you can't keep the other one. As much as I love wearing odd socks, it just didn't work because they were a different length from the other socks. So yeah.
As Dragon will tell you, I have long since surpassed this as being a problem.
Your socks drive me fucking demented.
I just wear completely odd socks.
Oh,
like,
wow.
One's blue and like ankle length, the other one's like red and up my leg. Yeah, I just...
Okay, that's weird. That is no,
I
that's
just
odd.
grab
That's
two
too
socks, they're
Yes,
good enough.
yes it is.
That's way
And
too.
one of
That's
them-
too much.
And one of them will be inside out.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh my God.
I was wondering how many
Wow.
types of combinations you could do to drive people.
Oh jeez.
You get more wear out of them when they're inside out.
Or
Get
there's
more
a
wear.
time
It lasts
that
longer.
she turns up to my flat to do gaming and I'm only wearing one sock because I've only found one at that point.
And then I ask you about it and you're just like, can't be bothered finding another one. It's like,
Yeah.
how does that not feel weird on your feet?
Just doesn't. I have one cold foot and one not cold foot, it's fine.
You're insane.
This entire revelation has me quite happy.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Tauno.
Hi, I'm Tauno. I'm playing Rasthikos, the warrior, well, most warrior-like of our characters, and I just happened to miss the one episode where we got a magic sword, so that feels great. My favourite sock would probably be the one that I was missing this morning, because if it had just been there, I could have worn the pair I actually picked out.
It ran away.
Yeah.
Did you not put it both on the same foot?
Most people
No,
can feel
I do know someone who spent half an hour
I
looking for a
can
lost
feel
sock.
my
and
feet.
I do know someone who spent half an hour looking for a lost sock and they put both on the same foot.
Yeah, I didn't do that, Nikolai.
Just checking.
Most people can feel their feet well enough to know if they've done that.
To be fair, like I've been like kind of groggy in the morning and I put a sock on and I have the other one in my hand going, where's the other sock? And it took me like a hot minute to realize that I was wearing it.
Oh yeah, wandering around carrying the object you're looking for in one hand, looking for the object is something I do a lot.
Brain not working so good sometimes.
Mornings are hard.
Dragon.
Hello, I am Dragon. I am playing Tris Nitra, Drow vaguely sorceress. My favourite sock.
Favourite missing sock.
Favourite missing sock? Oh, heck. So I have a weird thing where I really like toe socks, but I can never get hold of them. And I had a really nice black pair that had like brightly coloured, like they were slipper stocks, so they had the non-friction bits on the bottom of them that were in multicoloured stars. And I can only find one. And I've only been able to find one for quite a few years now, but it is still sitting in my bedroom, just in case.
Oh.
Like on a raised pedestal.
Just in case the other one decides to come home.
So the other one knows where to come back to.
What you need to do is
Oh my
secretly
God.
buy 2 of
Maybe-
them and then put those 2 in her flat somewhere. So she finds 2 more and goes, I found the other, but wait, what is this?
But maybe they had a falling out, and that's why the other one left. So, you know.
But finally, Susie.
Hi, I'm Susie Q. I play 13, who's a goblin, and I don't have favourite lost socks. I'm very hard on socks. I have a lot of socks that will get a hole in the heel because I'm pulling boots on and off and I'm on my feet a lot. So a lot of the time I'll have a pair of socks and one will rip a hole somewhere in it, so I'll bin that. So the other sock continues to live on until it gets a hole in it. And yeah, I'm not kind to socks. I'm not sentimental with socks, and now I feel like a bad person because all you people have got like these loving stories about these socks. And I'm just like, nah, you're in the bin.
I wouldn't call them loving. Like, I do misplace my socks quite a lot. Like, I've never had enough socks in my entire life. At a point, people would just it's fine if your girlfriend gives you socks for like Christmas or whatever. But my friends would start giving me socks. They'd be like, you need them.
Oh, I love it when people give me socks. Don't get me wrong. Socks are like the best thing you can get me, and I've got
Agreed.
loads of different types of socks. I've got like thermal socks, I've got like horse riding socks. Like there's this fashion in horse riding to wear your socks over your jumpers up to your knee, so you need to have like really brightly coloured ones. So I have lots of socks, and I love getting socks. But I have so many socks with holes in it, and the worst thing is when you're like pull the sock on, don't realise there's a hole in it, then you put it in your cold boot and you're like, fuck! It's cold!
Yeah.
But you're already outside and
You're
you've
like,
got to get on with your
gotta-
day.
Yeah, I just gotta soldier through it. It's like,
Yep, definitely.
Yep, sadly so. Alright. What happened last week?
We ran
we
away.
ran away.
We did a lot of running. So we went into Sloopty-Doop and it was basically demolished. Bits of buildings and rubble all over the place. We found quite a lot of corpses who were facing away from the lake, and they all had their heads twisted 180 degrees, which was quite disconcerting.
Just a bit.
We could not get the cart through the rubble, so Gazron was leading the cow, and very bad-temperedly.
Has this become a cow now?
He does not get on with the animal.
The name is cow. The animal is Goblin.
Okay.
Okay. 13 decides to race ahead. Ishidoro tries to stop her from dying, and she finds a corpse in a fountain wearing a very nice bright orange robe, but with many, many stab wounds. So 13 steals the cloak, and there's a note in the pocket, which helpfully only she can read, saying along the lines of, "Daughter, don't get involved with this nonsense about the Deep Father."
That was
Our
the
God
red
is the sea
cloak, not
mother.
the orange one.
Is that the red cloak?
That was the
Where
red
was
cloak,
the
not the
orange
orange one. The orange one was the elder, the red cloak was the daughter.
Ah, okay, fair enough. I will need to correct my notes then. Yes, and the next thing is that we then find her, and she also has lots of stab wounds, but they're all in her back.
No, she doesn't.
No?
She was pinned upside
What
down
was it?
with her head spun round again.
It was the guy in the orange cloak that
The guy
had
in the
all the
orange
stab
cloak
wounds.
had 30 stab wounds on him, but the one in the red cloak was
But they
pinned
were
upside down.
those the ones that were all in the back then?
Yeah.
Okay. So we realise that the demon is wandering around the edge of the lake, and it turns to come back towards the town, and the weight of its tread cracks the ground underneath us. cracks the rubble underneath us. And we fall into what was a building, and there is a very faint knocking, and we can hear a voice. So we open the door carefully, and we find an elderly Kotoa wearing almost like a sky blue cloak, and he appears to be the father that wrote the note to the cult leader. Unsurprisingly, he does not believe us about what's happened, because that means that everyone he's ever known is dead. So we can then hear another voice, and there's lots and lots of arcana focused beneath our feet. Apparently, it is only tombs down there. We go down, and there is a talking sword. And what I have in my notes is that he is a smarmy, reckless bastard.
Wow.
Actually, he isn't really. What he is rather cocky and completely useless. But he does actually sing a good song.
For a moment there, I thought you were going to say misunderstood, but...
Oh no, completely useless.
Ishidoro hates it on sight. Therese isn't very happy either. Try the sword on the gem from the gluttony demon, but unfortunately the contact throws Layla backwards from it. So we're like, right, we're getting out of here. As we are doing that, the sword screams a challenge to the demon. This demon was definitely too strong for us to try and fight, but now we were going to be destroyed. The demon charges at us. Eric comes up behind it. Eric is being sliced into tiny cubes, and Stool is completely traumatized, and we decide to run to get into the Drow camp from which we escaped, because we can see lots of dead Drow, but we might be able to be out of reach of the demon if we get to the camp. A lot happened. You don't want that sword, Rasthikos.
You took the elder away on top of your cow.
On top of the cow.
It's Mr. Cow. I haven't checked if it's a Mr., but...
It is
Mystery
now.
cow now.
Right, okay.
I'm just reading one of my notes, and what I've written, which presumably made sense to me at the time, says, "Doing the Sea Mother will not approve of this." Like, what the fuck is it?
I think it's safe to say that the Sea Mother would definitely not approve of them summoning a demon.
This is the best note-taking ever. 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah. It's my notes about the letter. Dear's daughter, I don't know what you... Oh, right, okay. I double-spaced it, so that's why. I thought I made bullet points, but it says I don't know what you were doing. The Sea Mother will not approve of this. It's not just doing the Sea... My bad.
Doing the Sea Mother will not approve of it.
I'd be good in a t-shirt.
That would be great in a t-shirt. Get a best shirt with a logo on the front and on the back saying, "Doing the Sea Mother would not approve of this." I could totally sell.
I could buy one, just for the confusion.
Oh yeah.
Right, so at the end of last episode, you followed Gazrim and the cow into the Drow camp, because he sort of looks around, sees all the destruction, and yells that you can go through the Drow camp. So as you begin to walk back to the Drow camp, you notice that the demon has indeed been through here. Unlike in Sloop-de-Doop, the Drow look like they've just been, like, smacked across the chest or smacked across the throat or just hit hard enough to kill them. They've not had their heads twisted or anything like that.
Is it safe enough for 13 to, like, scramble out of Layla's grasp like a cat and start looting?
Yep.
Oh, she's going to do that.
So there's like
Oh my gosh.
a good like 20-30 drows lying around. From looting all of them, you found about 20 gold coins, drow armor, as many as you really want.
No, she doesn't want drow armor.
Find another couple of whips. You find a set of keys.
Ooh.
You find some belts, some drow boots, which look relatively sturdy considering.
13's going to put a pair on.
And you find what looks like some sort of headband.
So they've all been dead since...
The stench
just
of
after
death is quite strong here. It's as if it's been under a day since they all died.
Oh, that soon.
Can I roll Arcana? No, actually, I'll roll Demonology to see if there's any bad juju.
Sure. Everything stinks like demon, but it's all got the signs around that it's obviously been the big
That's
demon
a
that's
little
come
bit
through here.
offensive. That really is offensive. How can you say that?
What, the disembodied voice that's describing?
No, that everything stinks like demon. That's
It's a
You know,
very
that's-
strong fell smell.
But
Like sulfuric?
Yeah.
you said that you are not a demon, Layla. And the only actual demons we have come across have all been pretty monstrous. You are definitely not monstrous.
But you have to tell us
Thank
if you
you.
are.
What, a monstrous or a demon?
Either or.
I don't think you are either.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Just keep thinking that way, and everything will be just fine.
Ishidoro narrows his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely none.
Therese is now very suspicious.
Who's got the bucket?
You.
I think it's on the
it?
cow. No,
On
we
the
took
cart.
it with us.
We don't have the cart. We had to leave it. So.
But I remember us taking the bucket,
Are you
and
sure?
Therese had it for a bit. She was carrying it like a shopping bag, essentially.
I'll still have
Like-
it then. I can be carrying it, that's fine.
Okay.
13 would like to put on her new clothes, which involves a belt to hold up her numerous robes, her neutral boots, and her headband. And she's feeling pretty stylish because she's like, I've got a headband. It's not quite a hat, but it's a headband.
Close enough.
I would like to do an Arcana check, please.
Okay.
Not least at two things. One, headbands are really unusual, so I'm slightly suspicious. But two, the Drow here seem to have some way of keeping the were-rats in one form. I want to see if I can find anything about that.
Okay.
Maybe not.
You look at the headband and you run your fingers along it. It does feel like there's something sewn into the front of the headband.
13. Tell me if you get anything unusual from that headband.
What, you mean like cool? I look cool, don't I?
Yes, yes, you do.
I look so cool. And she's like strutting about, like, yeah. I mean, her pockets are jingling. She's pretty chuffed.
I know.
Rasthikos appearing from wherever missing player characters go when they're not there for a session.
Basically just taking up the rear,
Yeah.
so yes.
Yeah. So there really were no other weapons among the Drow than a pair of whips in the ruined camp.
Nope, there was a pair of handcuffs if you want them.
Well, I'd like to check the quality of the Drow armor. I'm guessing it's just thick leathers.
Yep. It's just basically the sort of thick leather stuff you found before.
Well, first of all, does any of it fit me?
Probably would fit you, yes.
Alright, because then I would like, just for my own comfort, to wear that and take off my stone breastplate and just carry the breastplate around instead, so that I can put it on when there's a threat, but that I'm not chafing myself all the time.
It would make it easier to breathe as well.
Yeah.
Also, that thing's pretty hefty. You could throw it.
We can't all be Haffle.
This is the place like where we were chained up, right?
Yes.
So the actual slaver camp is close by.
You're walking
Or
through the actual
would you-
slave camp itself, you see there's basically been entire slave teams just like slaughtered as well by this demon. There's like groups of like 14, 15 all like chained together that all seem to have like been just basically like crushed together really. There's some mining picks and spades and stuff on the ground if you want them.
Yeah. Can I roll awareness or something to see if the demon is following us?
The demon seems to be like ripping up Eric at this point and still seems traumatized.
Was there a office of like somebody who was in charge here? Like a higher ranking Drow?
You make your way up to the door that you remember separated the sort of sleeping area from the work area, and as you get close you see the door has been completely ripped off its hinges.
I will draw my short sword and enter in case anyone survives. I want to give this place a nice thorough search. Like find anything useful, something that would point towards the Drow having some hand in this.
You walk into the room, there's a couple of completely broken bodies of Drow. Some of them have been thrown through the furniture in the room, so there's like piles of splintered where there was tables. Nothing is living, everything is like covered in blood and broken, but yeah, there's two doors at the back. There's a door to your sort of left and the door to the right, but this room itself just seems to be full of broken bodies and like broken furniture and the occasional limb that's been ripped off.
I'd open the door to the right, see if it takes.
You walk up to the door and you tap it very gently. It just collapses off as if it's been, again, almost ripped off but rolled back on. In front of you is what looks to be like a sort of medicine/torture area. There are two wooden tables with manacles on each sort of corner. To the left there is a very well cleaned assortment of medical tools. And behind that, there are several bottles and packages of like bandages and stuff like that.
I'll pocket whatever like seems valuable, like and necessary for healing. I'll take a couple of scalpels and like just for 13 because she likes shiny stuff.
There's scalpels, there's bone saws, there's needles, there's bandages, there's rubbing alcohol. What do you want?
I'll basically shout out to the rest about like finding stuff. I will take some of the rubbing alcohol and a couple of bandages.
Okay. Is anyone else taking anything, or are you just leaving it?
If there are any bandages left, I'd grab some.
It seems well supplied. It seems like this was the sort of treatment room / torture area for the Drow.
I will take some bandages, and if nobody else wants it, I will take the bone saw.
Okay.
The bone saw? What exactly are you going to use a bone saw for?
Cutting bones.
It will cut through most things, as long as they don't
Drow
move too
like
quickly.
those.
Most or worse.
Plus, you never know when you need to saw off a hand.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
See, you ask if Drow are worse, you do not ask if all goblins are like that.
13 grins. See, you said there was a medicine table. Is there like herbs and stuff about the place?
Yep. You sort of look. There seems to be like quite well supplied like medicine stocks and stuff.
So could like 13 go over and, I don't know, roll an alchemy to see if she can make anything explosive or diversive, like even just a smoke bomb or something?
Yeah, sure.
Or,
roll. No, there is rubbing
you mean
alcohol,
even if she
so-
just thinks there's something? Yeah. Alchemy at long last! 15.
I said 50 there.
I just like all my points into alchemy.
Yes. You managed to make a couple of smoke bombs. You managed to make one very, very dangerous looking incendiary bomb that seems to be 90% rubbing alcohol, 10% something else that only 13 knows what it is.
Yes! 13 special recipe.
I was actually gonna do that. Use the rubbing alcohol and the bandages to make Molotovs.
Well, there's still loads of rubbing alcohol. It's literally like this is a well-stocked medical area for the Drow.
Can I try making something that's less dangerous looking than hers, but functional enough to kill someone?
You can make some Molotovs relatively easily, yes. You don't need to roll for that. I
Okay.
assume that you can like drop some bandages in a bottle and make Molotovs. It shouldn't be that
Yeah.
difficult.
How many do I have?
So let's say 4.
Okay. I will basically give everyone one each, except 13, who has like a very dangerous
That's her
device.
big bomb.
And I'll be like, in emergency case.
What exactly does it do? Like, does this blow someone up? Does it set them on fire?
It sets them on fire.
It very
Oh,
much
okay.
sets them on fire.
Okay, I'm gonna try to very much hide the smile that is slowly spreading across my face.
Could I do a check on how Stool is doing, please?
Yes, you can. You ask him how
I
he's
need to roll
doing. He tells you that Eric has only just stopped screaming.
Oh, little one. I'm sorry.
He seems quite traumatized.
I'd like to go check the left door when possible.
Okay, you walk up and again you tap the door just collapses on its hinges. It's like it's been like shunted through by this massive demon. Inside you find the basic prisoner sleeping area that you remember from staying here, which is like hundreds and hundreds of like sacks on the floor filled with a tiny bit of straw each. And you look to the other end of the room, there is basically like the outline of a massive demon in the wall, as in it looks like it's just ran straight through the wall at the other side.
I think he went that way.
Very well observed. Yes. I will kind of go towards the giant comically demon-shaped hole in the wall, which I am imagining is completely Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, you walk through it and
It's
like
Wile E.
massive, and you're
Coyote.
like, how did it fit through the doorway if this is how much a hole it made?
Yeah. Is there anything on the other side? Is it just back
Yep.
to your lake?
No, the other side has the sort of mess hall that again you remember. Everything in this room's also been trashed. There are broken drow bodies everywhere. The massive soot pot that you remember as serving the worst gruel you've ever had is lying on its side with the sort of like stuff that was in it poured all over the floor. And at the bottom,
Is
you
there
notice
any
that
left
there's
in the pot?
Well, at the bottom of the pot, you notice there's 3 or 4 like humanoid skeletons, and there's a little left in the bottom of the pot.
13's gonna go have a snack.
Okay.
Ishidoro, being the gourmet that he is, eating everything, refuses to eat any because I hate it. It was like my...
You've already eaten it.
Yes, and I disliked it intensely.
Ishidoro made eat anything once.
Once. Is there anything else in this room that like seems that it was like? Is there a cook around?
you kind of look around and you notice underneath the pot there's basically like the crushed remnants of the cook. And to the back left there is another demon-sized hole in the wall.
So, like, circled around then. Okay. I'll continue checking, like, Demon's Path until I run into it or anything else.
Okay. As you go through this one, you find a sort of barracks room, which seems to have basically drow armor set on either side. Some are obviously missing because some people were out. On the wall, there's like racks of what looks like some sort of cattle prods, but they basically are sort of like enchanted staves that have the sort of magical stun power of a cattle prod.
Weapons here, and I grab one of the rods.
Okay.
Can I roll Arcana to see how this thing works? Like, if I can understand the working?
Yep, roll. You go, I wonder how this works, and you basically like sort of hold it in your hand, not sure, and you poke yourself in the foot with it, and you immediately give yourself a massive electric shock.
Does my leg go completely limp? It's
Your leg
pretty
goes
powerful.
completely limp. After about 30 seconds or so, the feeling returns, but you did sort of like shock yourself to the point that you landed on the floor.
I'm assuming everyone walks in as soon as I
Everyone walks in, hearing you go,
and it's like on the ground. I wake up after 30 seconds, I go, don't put that end anywhere near you. That end goes towards the enemy. So, yeah.
Speaking
I'm
of,
going to assume that I already knew about this because I'm Drow.
yes.
Like,
I was going to ask if
Why-
they're kept here by the slavers. Have we seen them used or felt them used on us before?
Yes. You didn't have them as much on you because you were only there for maybe about 2-3 days, but you saw them used on others.
why did you put the painful side to yourself, Ishi?
Science?
Fair. They hurt. A lot.
Yeah. But I was thinking we could use this against demon.
Are
Give,
they
uh,
lethal weapons?
As long as we get close enough to it without being, like, knocked into pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, how long are these staves?
From handle to tip, they're about a meter long.
Okay. And since I've seen them used, could they be lethal?
You'd have
Or
to
are they strictly
give
stunning?
repeated shocks for it to be lethal. It seems to stun more than kill.
Right. I'll stick with my hammer then.
Does it just work on contact or does it have an activation?
You'd have to try it out and see.
But I did try it. Like I just...
Yeah, you tried it with
tapped on
contact.
it. So there's nothing on it that looks like a special part of the handle or something to hold in order to...
Not that you can see, no.
And how many are there?
There's
in
about
this room?
4 of them.
Okay. I will keep one with me. Whenever I have time, I'll continually analyze it to see if I can extract the magic out of it.
Okay. So you look around and you move a couple of objects around, and you eventually, after moving one of the bigger cabinets, you find the door out, which again has... It was a doorway, but it seems the demon's just gone straight through the door. It's not as obvious as the previous ways that the demon went this way, but yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. 13, are you with us?
Yes!
Okay.
What do you need me to do?
Just stop eating that stuff. It's not good.
But it's tasty.
It could also kill you.
What doesn't kill me makes me stronger.
I'll just go through the demon-sized hole again. This time I'm like completely off guard.
Okay. You find what looks like a sort of sleeping quarters for Drow. It looks like the beds are of relative comfort. It looks kind of like a sort of dorm room, effectively, like sort of beds all along one edge. It looks like a single candlelit footlocker at the end of each bed. It seems to be locked on the way along for each bed.
Can we try the keys?
You can try the keys, yes. After trying
they
them on
work?
several locks, you'll find one that opens. Inside there are a couple of personal artifacts, about 20 gold, and a sort of small silver pocket watch.
Ooh, yoink.
That's the ancient Drow word of mine now. Yoink.
Yes,
I'm
it
I'm
is.
understanding Undercommon there now.
The keys only worked on one chest, right?
Yep.
Could 13 go and get some of the bones from the soup? Or possibly, even how far away was the medical room? How long would it take her to run back and get some needles?
You could go back and get back here in about 2-3 minutes. It wouldn't take that long.
She was just going to go get needles and then try and lockpick the other chests with the needles.
While she's away, I'm going to look at Rasthikos and Layla and go, you two seem pretty strong. These seem like wooden
Can I just
chests."
not hit it with a shovel? The
Yeah.
lock.
You can't
Just
hit it
hit
with
the
shovel,
lock
yes,
with the
roll.
shovel. Okay. Nice.
You smash one of the footlockers open. Inside you find again a couple of personal artifacts, letters and stuff, about 25 gold. And you find a couple of very neatly folded pajamas.
Are they nice pajamas?
They are very nice pajamas.
Okay, I'm going to take the pajamas, but I want to do it surreptitiously. I don't want anyone to see that I am really interested in these nice pajamas.
Okay.
I'll use my short sword to sort of like crack the latch if possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you wedge it in there.
Yeah, like use my 2 strength.
Natural
Oh my
20.
God.
You crick the lock, it pops open very easily and reveals to you that whoever owned this one was a lot richer than the other ones. There's 40 gold. There is a very neatly folded, some sort of strange black cloth item. And there's also it's like a framed photograph of what looks like a female drow.
A framed drawing? Painting of a female drow?
As close to a very realistic painting.
I see.
I'm holding it up to Trees and comparing. No. Put it back.
Do I recognise the drow?
It looks like a drow with quite a lot of finery and quite a lot of spider motifs, so you get the feeling it must be some sort of semi-important drow.
Does it look like she's a priestess of Lolth?
It does, yes.
I see.
And
Well, that
the
would be interesting.
and the black fabric. Like when I unfold it, is there anything special about it?
Roll me an awareness check to see if you know what this is.
That's the only stat I have that's good, and it's saved.
After about 5 minutes of like looking at it, going, it's a pillowcase, and then flipping it over and flipping it back again, flipping it over and flipping it back again, putting your hand in it, pulling out again, you realise you have a very small bag of holding.
Ah, that's interesting.
Exciting.
I share this information with the group, and I ask Trees to put the gem in it.
Certainly. I put the bucket in.
And I just tie the bag of holding tight. It's like, this will be a good way to store them without them affecting us.
So we're not hungry anymore, is that correct?
You all don't feel as hungry as you did a couple of minutes ago.
Okay, good. Because it was hard not to just eat when 13 was just eating.
Do the rest of the party know about Lolth? Or do I need to explain?
I'm sure I would ask you. Like, as soon as I saw the picture, I'd be like, who's this?
Okay. With all those spider markings, she's almost certainly a priestess of Lolth, which means she has gone through several tests. She has strong arcana. She is cruel and ruthless. They often have to assassinate their oldest friend or their close family member as a test. If they fail the test, they die. So
I'm gonna start crying.
she is a definitely significant threat. And if she can call on any power from Lolth, I wouldn't rate that demon's chances against her. Not if Lolth is on her side. We cannot let these gems fall into the hands of Lolth or her priestesses.
So what you're saying is they're evil.
Yes. Every worst rumour or nightmare you've ever heard about Drow, it is those Drow.
Okay, let's hope we
I've
don't
heard
run
nothing
into
about
her.
Drow other than what we've experienced down here, which hasn't really been that terrible. I mean, you're quite nice.
I mean,
I'm trying to get the hell away from them.
To be entirely fair, I fail to see the relevance of this threat. I mean, or rather, I fail to see how they are more relevant now than they were before. This portrait could be a family member, in which case, yes, there is a connection, but it could be an icon. It could be a self-portrait, in which case, problems already dealt with. It could be any number of things.
I just don't want to run into them, that's all.
Yeah.
Uncommon for Drow to carry anything that is personal affection.
So then why do you think this particular locker had it? Is it because they're related or something? Is there a concept of relation like that?
There is. Drow live in large households, and each house has its own names and traditions and ways of doing things. It could be that the one in the portrait is part of this one's house, but
Leader
it
of
is
the
very
house.
uncommon for it to be done like that. I
She
would like
seems
to do
important.
an arcana check on it, please. just in case there's some sort of magical link.
No, and I touched it.
As you look at the picture and you sort of tilt your head a little bit, you notice the face sort of turn to look at you.
Oh my god, that's creepy.
What is it?
Do the rest of us see this or just Triz?
Just Trice at the moment.
Alright.
I slam the locket shut and keep it covered.
What happened?
Then I'm going to wrap it up in lots of fabric and put it in a pocket. Do not look at that. There is a magical link. It's bad enough that she has seen a different drow. She cannot see any of the rest of you.
Okay. Should we go? I think we should go.
We should move as quickly as possible.
Okay. Are you cracking any more of the footlockers, or are you just leaving the rest and going to the door at the back of the room?
Break them
13
quickly.
wants, 13 wants to come back and do some stuff, find more things.
Okay.
How many lockers are left?
There's about another 20-30 lockers, but we'll just say you spend the next half hour cracking them. You end up with about another 200 gold, a couple of small effects, and a second small bag of holding.
Oh, good.
That's very useful.
It is. Rasthikos, would you like
Yes?
to put your stone breastplate in the bag of holding? It will be much easier to carry.
Does it even fit? I'm asking Nikolai.
It would just
because
fit, yeah.
you mentioned it was a small bag of holding, so I'm questioning, can it even open wide enough for a stone breastplate to be shoved in there?
Possibly could get it, considering it's stone breastplate, could probably condense down a bit more, yes.
I mean, it's made of stone.
Is it solid stone, or is it
Yeah, you said it was solid stone.
Okay, if it's solid stone, then no.
Would 13 fit in the bag of holding?
If she crouched down, she could, yes.
If
Yeah,
she
like,
tries it, I am stopping her. Like, no.
She wants to put her head in the bag of holding and have a look around. Like, oh my god, what's in here? I mean, it's a bag of holding. Is there stuff already in?
You look in the bag, there's
Yeah.
nothing already in there. When you poke your head in, it seems to be like the size of quite a large cupboard.
Oh, nice.
Is there any oxygen in there?
About as much as you'd get in a large cupboard.
Okay.
So infinite amounts is what you're saying.
Enough
Until
that
you
you'd
run
probably
out.
not suffocate for at least an hour.
Small goblin too. Excellent.
Okay, so after we're done, I'll just ask everybody where they think we should go, because we can't go back to Floopty-Doop. And assuming Gazrim, the cow, and the elder have caught up and seen all the horrific stuff, I'm just going to have a quick powwow with everybody and see where they think we should go next.
Gazrim goes through the next door and says, "Here's the big door!" And he points towards this massive, massive door. That's where the slaves come in from. And you notice to the left there are 4 or 5, looks like discarded collars.
Oh, okay.
And to the right, basically opposite where you came in, there seems to be another, more grand door. But it also seems to have been, smashed through by the demon.
Are there any spider markings on the door that I reckon? Any motifs?
Not really, no. It seems to just be very, simple metal. But it's very thick and very heavy, enough to stop someone getting through it.
So did we come through one of these doors to begin with?
You don't remember how you got
When we-
there.
Okay.
You just
we have
remember
no
waking
knowledge
up
of
in the
these
medical room.
You're just saying the big door is smashed?
Well,
the
we
big
need to get
grand
through this
door.
big door to get a Gravenhollow.
Oh,
How-
Really?
Wait, your path to Gravenhollow took you through a drow slaving camp?
Well, no, it went round the side of it, but the problem is there was this big fuck-off demon there. My accent's got even worse this week.
But how did you know that this
Because we've
door is
seen
being
where this
walked
place
from?
is. It's in the middle
I
of the road to Ensperanzan. But if you go out the front here and you turn to the right, you keep going, you eventually come to Gravenhollow. It's just a bit different from normal path.
Okay.
so you're saying this is sort of a shortcut?
It's a long way around, but at least it avoids the big bastard demon back there.
That's fair. I suppose it'll be an arcana check, but what I want to check is I want to see what sort of drow magic is around this doorway before we touch anything.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be any drow magic, but there's it looks like 7 or 8 key slots all the way up.
Ooh.
And to the side there's one massive key slot.
Do they match the keys 13 has?
One of them does, but only one of the little ones.
Hey! Okay, so she's now going to try her needles on the other keys hole.
The
Look through
keys
the
are all
keyholes.
massive. They're for the big chunky keys rather than the sort of small Yale keys.
And we didn't
Can
find
sh-
any big keys.
No.
I was going to say, how big are these? I mean, she's small. Can she get her fingers
You
in?
your hand in if you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
13's going to do that.
Oh.
Alright.
While she's doing that, I'm going to check the other door that the demon smashed down.
Okay.
Just carefully kind of look in and see what he smashed into.
Okay.
Am I adding anything to this?
Tinkering.
That's a grand 0. This is when we need now. 4.
She puts her hand in, she goes, oh, it's just a... And 13 realises her hand is now stuck.
I'm stuck!
Oh dear.
Ow!
I'm gonna
See,
start pulling
I told you a
13 out.
bone saw's handy.
I'm going to
Never know when you need a bone saw.
I mean, if you're serious, then I volunteer.
grab her. I'm going to grab her by the feet and pull her out.
She seems to be stuck at the wrist. It's from her like mid-forearm down that's in this lock, but it seems to be stuck at her wrist.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just pull. I'm gonna pick her up and
Alright. Roll.
This is not gonna turn out.
Roll to see how you get on.
strength, yeah.
Either way, she's losing an arm.
Right, she'll be the one-armed goblin.
You
That's great.
rip 13's
I'm
out.
surprised it's-
13 pulls her hand out and she goes, see, nothing to worry about. Got my hand back. She holds up her hand. Her like little finger is obviously missing and blood is slowly trickling down her hand, but she doesn't seem to notice.
my
She goes, my thumb and my fingers are back.
Okay. Oh crap.
Fine!
Ishidoro, you've got the whopping alcohol.
Oh my god. I'm gonna start panicking. Oh my god. What did I do?
I'm not even here at this point. Like, I
Oh,
leave you
no.
alone for a minute, and this is what happens.
Driz, I think we should get Ishidoro on his robbing alcohol to disinfect before we band it.
Yeah. If I hear this commotion, I'll come back and I'll help.
You hear everyone being shocked that 13's missing a finger and 13 being really happy that she's got back out the door.
This is
Oh,
great!
dear.
In fairness, Teresa's
No, it isn't.
laughing.
It's not great.
I'll tell
This
13
is
that I'm
worse than
giving
the
her.
time. Oh my god.
I'm giving her like a cool, like, warrior's, like, hand wrap, explaining everything while pouring, like, rubbing alcohol on it and cleaning it up and, like, saying, this looks really cool. It goes with your headband and everything. I start wrapping a bandage around it.
13 is watching all of this with a polite interest.
Just imagine 13's just watching and pouring alcohol into her like missing finger and she's like, what's that? What are you doing? That stuff smells.
You know, we could use that to make a bomb. Don't waste it.
Yeah.
I made a bomb. Look.
A little bit. And I kind of wrap it up and everything. Did I see anything in the other side?
Yeah, in the other room, you opened it up, and the first thing you saw was what looks like a sort of accountancy room that looks like it's got several big ledgers. The last one is lying open and is sprayed with blood, and have sort of broken drow bodies at the feet of the sort of pedestal that the book's on. But you also notice that there's a room at the back that also has been like smashed open.
I'll basically like gesture over to everybody, and I'll especially like call the priest, and I'm like, priest, could you read these books or try and figure out what's written in them? Maybe we could find how they got us in here, because they seem to keep records of everything.
I will go and first check my literacy, which is fine. Yes, I'll see if I can gather anything useful,
Okay.
or see if I recognise any of the other things that are...
Natural 20.
Yeah.
Okay, for natural 20, I'm just going to copy the thing over. For natural 20, you look through one of them. Most of them seem to be collections of like teams and stuff like that have all been like basically bought and sold to the slave camp from Menzibaranzan. You find the one that's lying open, and it seems the last update seemed to be to this, which is one of the escape teams which have been finally all recaptured by the Drow. This is the notes you read. I'll let you either read it out or discuss it amongst yourselves.
Okay. Work Team 32813. One deep gnome, recovered alive, returned to mines. 2 goblins, maimed in recovery, dead. 2 humans, recovered, 2 injured to dig, sold to Seraglio. 3 dwarf, maimed in recovery, recovered alive, sent to mines, recovered dead. 3 Kutoa, recovered, dead. 1 Myconid, 1 elf, maimed in recovery, 2 injured to dig, sold to Seraglio. Do we know Seraglio?
Nope.
Dude, this doesn't sound like our team.
It's not. Can we find our team? in these records?
You look through the pages for a while, and eventually you come across this.
Ah, yes. 3 deep gnomes. 1 recovered dead, yes. 1 goblin, 13. 2 orc. 2 dwarf. 1 human. 2 traitor. Thanks. 1 dragonkin. 1 kotoa. 1 myconid. 1 quaggoth. 1 minor demon.
I spill some ink on the minor demon bit so that Layla doesn't see it.
I glance at Layla, going, I still don't think you're actually a demon.
Who said I was a demon?
Nobody.
Definitely not a demon.
No.
She's gonna cry again. Please don't.
Oh my
She
God.
needs hydration.
Don't worry, you are no more an evil demon than I am, lol. It's fine.
I'm doing the big watery eyes thing every time I look at 13 with her now missing finger. Oh my gosh, I feel so guilty.
13 is totally unconcerned. She's probably still at the keyhole trying to, get her finger out, possibly stick her other hand in. So, you know.
At this point, Ishidoro has given up on this safety precaution thing. If I were a fancy drow writing down stuff in my ledgers next to a giant gate with a lot of keys, I'd probably keep a set on.
Yes, there should be some of the keys in here, I would think.
Did we pick up the keys we found in the ruined camp before we made our way over here?
Yes, one of them was the right key.
Yeah, one of them was a ring of key.
There was, but only one of them seemed to work.
Yeah.
If you have a look for keys, I'm going to look and see if I can find if any of these books contain where they acquired their slaves. Preferably where they found us, but
Yes.
anywhere that they sourced their slaves from could be useful.
Also, information on this Raglio character.
Yes. It's whether Seraglio is a place or a person.
And maybe they would be able to tell us how to get out and above ground also. They may have some kind of record that could indicate the way out.
They might, yes. It's definitely worth trying.
Do I just roll awareness to try and find keys? Or like an investigation sort?
You have a look around the room. This room seems to be entirely based on ledgers and money coming in, money going out, and slaves being bought for literally 1 gold piece, 2 gold pieces.
Yeah, there's another door leading into another room, so I'll check there.
Okay. The room at the back seems to lead to what looks like a personal office. It has a room to the side containing a massive bed and a desk in the middle of the room. Behind the desk is the crumpled body of what looks like quite an important female drow. On the desk in front of her seems to be several open pieces of parchment and an open book. To the right of the room it seems to be quite a large footlocker, and to the left seems to be sort of stacks of candles. One of them seems to be lit but it's almost burnt out, but it looks like candles that burn for 2-3 days.
I put the parchment into the book, close the book, and basically walk back into the room and hand the book off to Therese. Say, I found this, might be important. Some fancy lady had. Then, before 13 loses all her fingers, I will shout out to 13 in the loudest voice I can muster, and I say, I need a lock that needs picking.
I want it, boss! And she comes, running to...
I check cursory, just do a cursory check to see if she has all her fingers, apart from the one she's missing.
She hasn't lost any
She's
others
got
yet.
Good.
Did she get back her other finger?
She holds it up triumphantly to Ishidoro in one hand, sort of slightly withering pinky finger.
I clap politely. And I lead her to the locked footlocker, and I say, can you open this?
Sure! 13's going to get her needles and try and wiggle it open.
Try the keys first.
Oh, okay.
None of the keys fit.
Do the needles work? Do I have to roll?
You'd have to roll, yes.
So 13 totally thinks she can pick locks, so she's going to be it's just a minute, I'll get it, and just
Okay, so
she's taking way too long to pick this lock.
To be honest, Ishidoro doesn't know music.
So while 13's picking the lock and Ishidoro's watching her, what's everyone else doing?
I'm still reading.
Okay. You're reading the books. The books dictate things like shipments of ice crystals, negotiations for selling slaves, there's one letter from Seraglio which says, per recent shipment, the 2 humans you sent us, one of them refused to work and has been executed. The other is doing quite good business, but I still want a drastic discount next time I buy from you.
I see. And is it signed
It's
Seraglio?
signed Seraglio.
Okay, so Seraglio is a person, or probably a person. Is it written in Drow?
Yes.
Okay, so it's almost certainly another Drow camp. That's interesting. Through all of these, have I found any connections with Drow religion?
Nothing there, no.
I see. Thank you.
So, what's Rasthikos and Layla doing, apart from swearing at 13?
Okay, so I am just looking through the room more carefully, find anything useful, considering I don't think I can read the language that the books are written in.
Okay, is this the sort of accountancy room or the big room at the end?
The big room at the end.
Okay, there's a desk, there's a bed, there's the body of the Drow, there's the footlocker that 13's working on, there's a small collection of books. There might be something else, but those are the sort of main areas.
Okay, as much as I want to do it, I search the body.
Okay, give me a awareness roll for the body. Okay, you move the body, and under the sort of broken, crumpled body, you find it's like a walking stick, but the handle is shaped like a scorpion and made out of what looks like solid gold. And you also find a set of keys, quite large keys.
Okay, I'm going to hold up the keys and say very loudly, I think I found all the keys.
I turn around and look at Layla and then kind of look at 13 and I'm like, keep going.
Okay, boss. And she's convinced she can do this, so she's going to keep trying to pick this lock.
It keeps her out of trouble.
Did I get to roll again?
Yep.
Okay, so then
Hey!
I'm going to take...
Yep, somehow, through sheer luck more than anything else, 13 pops the lock on the lockbox. The footlocker.
Told you I could do it!
I
open it.
smile in the way only a Dragonborn can smile.
When you open it, you find another set of keys, but this is a massive set of keys. It looks like a complete master set for the entire area. And a large cloth bag, which as you sort of poke, is obviously full of gold coins.
Oh dear.
13 now.
You
13
can't
has the
carry
keys.
all those coins, but that's just putting in the other bag of holding that we have.
Okay, let's put them in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Okay, so you...
13's also going to put her finger in there. Safekeeping. Don't want to lose it.
So the lockbox contained about 400 gold
Ooh,
and the
So
master keys.
very good.
So
I'm
we're
assuming
rich.
whoever has the bag of holding is keeping track of the money.
We have 2 bags,
One has the gems in it.
and the other I'd like to have with my breastplate, if that's quite alright.
Put the gold in that one then,
Yes.
because I don't think we should leave the gold with the gem.
So you run on back to Rasthikos
And just
I don't
pour
know,
this
grab the-
gold into his bag. So entirely so far you've probably got around 700 gold from looting the entire of the Drow camp.
Okay. I did keep some of the gold in my pockets, but
Yeah,
only a
that's
little bit of it.
I kind of wander around to the crowd and it's like, you know how the dwarves were saying they didn't have any metal left, so they couldn't work with anything? There's an awfully large door here that's made completely out of metal.
There is.
I mean, the dwarves didn't even have gold. The Drow
Yeah.
certainly do not have that problem.
But
I'm
how would
just-
we get this metal to the dwarves?
Well,
Or even
I'm not
them come and get it?
I'm not really talking about getting the metal there, because that's like the dwarves' business. It's more the case that the Drow seem to be fairly well equipped. Rich, have some sort of an economic system going around here based on slavery.
Oh, Drow cities are not poor.
Yeah,
Rapacious, but not poor.
but it seems like all the resources here belong to the Drow, or they have no difficulty finding. But
Pretty much.
it just seems strange. It's like some sort of weird enchantment almost.
It is also well guarded.
Do you think that the Drow have an access to the way out?
I mean, they
I think
got
if
us.
anyone does, yes, I think they
Did you-
must.
Did you find anything in the books about how we got here?
Time to do another roll.
Do one more roll and I'll tell you.
I just want to show Triss the scorpion. So, Triss, do you know anything about this? It looks like maybe it comes from a specific family.
Oh, yes, it does, doesn't it? I would have to check what would be there. What would I roll to figure out if I recognize a house symbol. Actually, would that come under dungeoneering?
It would possibly come under lore or dungeoneering, I guess.
Okay. I got 12 for finding where we came from.
Okay.
And natural 20
okay.
on Boström.
From looking through the letters and looking through your drow stuff, you find that the name of the drow who seemed to be in charge was this, which I will just sit there so you can pronounce it so I don't fuck it up.
Ilvara Mizrim.
Sound
Do I
familiar?
recognize that name?
Not immediately, no. You notice on the desk as well there's like seals and it all seems to be scorpion motifs. You also notice in one of the letters, it seems to be from someone very high up, but because it's signed only with a seal and the seal is just basically a spider. And the letter says you need to send us more collars back if you wish more slaves. We are running out down here.
Down here? That's interesting. I would assume the one with the spider motif is probably connected to the High Priestess, whose image we saw. It would make most sense if that locket was a reporting back device for a spy in this slaving camp. That is more how senior Drow operate.
Any idea on who this Seraglio was, other than a slave?
I don't know, but Seraglio gets their slaves from this camp. This camp are getting their slaves from a city that is deeper in the Underdark.
And
I don't know where the link to the surface is.
I turn to Gazrim, who obviously has been watching us with rapt attention, and I ask him if the way past the gate leads us further into Drow territory.
Well, it does lead to the road to Menzelbaranzan, yes. But we won't be going that far down. I'm not going anywhere near that place.
Good. It seems we're on the same page then. Let's try out these keys and open up the door.
Okay. You walk up to the door, you basically put the biggest key in the one side slot at the side, and there's a very loud click. The door releases and begins to slowly open towards you.
I jokingly say, it'd be really horrible if the demon made its way down to Drow City and made a mess of it. And then I do a nervous laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if it went into the city, that would solve some of our problems.
Solve yours,
Might
you'd get
make
away
it more
from that.
powerful.
It will not solve our primary problem, say.
That's true. I still
It
don't
won't
feel...
solve your primary problem. It will certainly help mine.
To be honest, I'm not entirely happy leaving the demon up here, but it seems to have done its share of killing, so we can bypass it. You know,
Hopefully, yes.
leave it to someone else.
As you open the gate, you notice about 50 meters away from you, there seems to be a small cart heading its way towards you. It looks like it's got 2 or 3 drow at the helm.
Shit.
13 would like to hide.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I think we should all try to hide if possible.
Yes, I also want to hide.
Yeah, if we see this, I'm just gonna leap for like cover.
So where are you going to hide? You're going to hide in
Behind the doors.
behind the doors, okay?
And I will very strictly tell Cow to move if he doesn't want to be food.
How much room is there behind the door?
If you're all like pressed against the door, you could probably hide behind it. But
With
when the
Carol?
drow come in, they
13
might see you
go-
looking round.
With the gal.
I will go back into the library.
Okay.
I'm
And if they go
throwing
in
my
there-
sword, obviously.
I'll try and put the stone breastplate on. Usually there's a, donning armor, but since it's solid stone, I guess it's more like a t-shirt you have to sort of
It's
slide
kind
into.
of like American football shoulder pads. You just sort of slot your head through. So the cart wheels its way in, and immediately as it sort of comes in, are you wanting to close the door as it comes in, or you want to leave the door open as it comes in?
13's going to leave it open and run through. So just as they sort of come through the doors, she'll duck round and run past the way they've came.
Okay.
Because presumably they won't think to look.
Okay.
Okay.
How many
So,
drow are there?
There's 3 drow.
Do they look armed and armored?
They look as light armored as every other guard you see here. They don't seem to have that many weapons. They seem to just have a whip and maybe a sort of stun thing.
Yeah, in that case, Rasthikos will just ready the hammer.
Okay.
A stone breastplate. They've got whips, and stone is not a great conductor for electricity.
No.
So,
Okay.
come at
so
me.
there are 3 drow. You have 1 round of doing something before they do anything. So we'll start at the top with Ishi.
I'd like to stun the one closest. to me.
Okay, is it
Like maybe
stab them with the
whoever's-
stun thing?
Yeah.
Alright,
This
roll.
stun. Oh,
Natural
no.
1.
I missed.
You trip and you end up shocking your leg again.
Oh my gosh.
Don't know
I
how
think
to
I got
use
that
this.
As Ishi lurches forward and emits a howl to himself, we go to Layla.
I am going to take out the whip that I have, and I am going to attempt to use it to... Whips do that in real life. Can you wrap a whip around someone's throat?
You could, yes.
Okay.
So these kind of whips, yes,
That's
you
what
could.
I'm gonna... Yes.
Okay, roll.
Okay. Sticks roll, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You whip it round the one throat, you pull him back. Does his neck break when he hits the ground? That's the question. Basically, you whip the whip round his neck, you pull him, he collapses off the edge of the cart, lands crookedly on his neck, and you hear a sickening snap.
Oh god.
I'm too busy on the ground twitching.
It's now Rasthikos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll just running up to one of the two survivors at this point, and I'm gonna, smack my hammer into the chest, try to crush that,
Okay.
whole
Roll.
rib area.
You run up, do pretty much a golf swing right through his chest. His eyes go wide for a second, and then he emits a sort of and then again just sort of hunches over your hammer, blood pouring from his mouth. It's now Treese.
I am in the library. Well,
Tree's just to hide in the library, not behind the door.
yes. I figured that if they were going to come in to speak to the person in charge, they would come into the library and then I could attack them from behind.
Makes sense.
There's only one left that's standing on the cart now.
I think I will go out and interrogate him if I can.
You probably heard the sounds of conflict. At least the Ishidoro is shocking himself.
My battle cry, you mean?
Oh fuck!
I like to think that everything happened in slow motion, like I was leaning forward, tripped, and then stabbed myself in the foot again. And I was like,
Did all the other stuff that happens when you get electrocuted happen to Ishidoro?
Basically, his legs go numb and he can't walk at the moment, yes. For the next, 30 seconds or so, he can't walk.
The odd bowel movement.
I'm sure that could happen if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, something would happen.
Considering one happened not too long ago, I think he's probably fine now, but you never know.
I'm conditioning myself to this.
In case you get captured by Drow again.
Yeah, thinking ahead.
Okay, so what is Treese gonna do?
Also, 13 has fucked off out the door.
Well, that's his well.
I'm going to approach the cart and order the Drow to stand down and report. So
He refuses to take orders from you and draws his whip.
Oh dear.
It is now 13, even though she's fucked off.
No, I said 13 ran out behind the doors and round behind the cart. So 13 would like to climb onto the back of the cart and kamikaze leap on the back of this guy and bite his neck.
Okay.
I was thinking that'd be much worse, like you explode them or something.
How high can 13 jump?
High she needs to.
We're about to find out what I need to roll.
That's the name of an 80s
Roll,
movie.
let's see. Add your dex.
13 rolled an 18.
13 basically manages to step up onto the cart, leap, try and take out this drow. Let's see what happens. Yep, she just spears him off the cart. He lands with a sickening thud on the floor, with 13 going, ha! About to bite him in the neck. Does he do anything before 13 bites him? No, he doesn't. 13 bites him
Terrified.
in the neck.
He bites him.
Or do you want to bite his nose off? What would you rather do?
No, she's going for the jugular. I mean, I'm picturing her jumping at him from behind, and she's got this big grin full of shark's teeth, and she's just yeah, bites his neck.
Okay, sure.
I think they were better off with the demon, to be honest.
Oh my god.
So so now the sort of dust is settled, and one drow has had his neck broken, one drow has had his throat ripped out, and the other has had his guts smashed in with a hammer. What are you
Well, she's
going
not
to
ripped
do?
his throat out. She's just bitten, like, you know in Lilo and Stitch, when Stitch bites someone, she's just like biting him and then like keeping her mouth in him because Ishidoro told us to keep one alive, so she's gonna be like,
okay. Let's
go on, boss!
Let's see what the Drow does.
She can't say it.
The Drow doesn't do anything, he's too terrified of this goblin biting him in the neck and he's just flailing around you.
To be honest, she looks quite terrifying. Headband, multiple robes.
Oh my god.
He might think she's some kind of shambling mound of some sort.
So, as Ishi is kind of incapacitated at the moment, Layla is dealing with just killing a Drow outright. Rasthikos is still probably finishing his golf swing. We move to Treese.
How long does it take to swing that hammer into someone's...
Considering how much momentum you probably had and how impactful it was, I think your hammer's still going up, not taking him with it.
Oh, okay.
It's more like this all happened in simultaneous movement, so Treese probably just came out, said, you have to report, and then everyone just beat the shit out of him.
And just went, you surrender, as the goblin just like takes him out from behind.
In which case I'm going to walk forward and go, will you talk now?
Now let's see what he does. Natural 20.
Oh dear.
He throws 13 at you.
I'm going to roll to catch her.
Okay, roll to catch 13.
Oh my god.
This has the potential of being amazing.
Natural 1.
Oh dear.
He throws 13 at you, 13 lands, biting side front onto you on the ground.
The like face
You end up with a couple of small bite grazes from 13 as the Drow scrabbles back to his feet. Does he fight or does he run? He runs. He is starting trying to run past the cart back along the road.
Can 13 go after him?
In true sort of pack dog style. Okay, roll to try and chase him down.
I would like to try and snatch the headband off of 13 because I want to have another look at the Arcana.
Okay. As 13 goes charging off, you grab the headband off her. So this poor Drow is like sprinting away with this rabid goblin chasing after him. We now go back to Layla and Rasthikos. What are you two doing?
Am I done swinging my hammer
Yes.
now? I can move. Good.
Yes.
If the others are chasing the remaining Drow, I'd like to see what's on the other side of this door. Were there locks on that side? Were they waiting around for someone to open the door? Were they just now arriving, stuff like that?
You have a look around the outside of the door. It seems that there were watchtowers looking out towards where they would basically call to say the gate should be open, but there doesn't seem to be any Drow on those watchtowers. So it's now Layla.
Well, I'm just being very distraught and trying to figure out how to, I don't know, adjust this poor Drow's head to make him look like I didn't really do something terrible.
Sure. Okay.
Are you like holding his neck going, please be fixed, please be fixed?
Yeah, something like that.
We can fix you. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can fix you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
I'd like to think that like you're trying to fix the neck and it's just disappointingly
It's just
like,
becoming more and more loose the more she does it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's back to Treese.
I guess I'll try and go after the Drow.
Okay. Roll your dex. Try and catch up with him. He has got a head start, but he has got like slight injuries from being shunted off a cart.
I would need to be chasing him to try and use the whip on him.
Okay, so you do run up to him and almost catch him. I assume 13 is also trying to catch him.
Oh yeah.
Roll to see if you catch him first before I roll to see what happens to him. Let's see what his score was. No, he didn't stay ahead of either of you. Both of you managed to catch him and grab him to the ground. 13 is basically jumped on the back of his neck like an attack dog. While Teresa's kind of went round his legs and pulled him down. So the two of you have got him down. What do you want to do with him as 13 sort of savages his neck?
Bite him!
Okay, is anyone coming to help the two of them, or are they just doing it themselves?
I'm still out.
No, you're basically from the waist up, you're conscious, it's just your legs are just fucked.
I'm just looking up, put my head up and kind of look down my body and see 13 just run off, growling and snarling.
Are they just trying to tie him up?
They can tie him up if they want, if they've got rope.
I mean, or are they trying to kill him?
don't know what I think 13's trying to
Trying to
savage
bite
him.
him. Bite him.
Hey, what?
I want to interrogate.
Okay.
But
You can tie him up if you can
Okay.
stop 13 from ripping his neck out.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and help. If they're just trying to restrain him, then I'm more than willing to do that.
I'm going to try and restrain him, and once I get him partly restrained, pull 13 off.
Okay.
Enough.
Bite, 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 bite.
No, we need him alive to answer things.
Can I have my headband back then?
Once I've checked if it's safe, if it
Bite
won't
him.
try and mind control you.
13's going to like just bite at his shoulder. Which is not looking. You know when your
nibble.
cat's looking at you. It's like, ah.
It's just like teeth in, but like eyes darting between like Trace and him. It's like, can I?
You
can I?
can't see me. I'm not doing this.
I know. I'm just imagining this to be hilarious.
Right. So, you have this drow tied up. Are you taking him back to camp? Are you going to interrogate him on the road? What are you going to do?
I think we should take him back to the doors, because we can close the doors again, and we're probably less easily observed there than on the road.
Okay. So you
I'm assuming
turn...
he's still conscious, right?
He's still conscious. He's still, like, panically, like, looking at 13 and terrified out of his mind.
Okay.
He's gonna,
well,
like,
I'm going to
He's
help
going to bite him.
And the whole time I'm going to apologize. I'm so sorry. And maybe if you just do what they want, then you won't have to die like everybody else and then start crying.
Okay.
I think you're possibly the sweetest ex-soldier that anyone in the party has ever met.
Yeah.
There's a reason that I'm an ex-soldier.
Aw.
Can't quite cut it.
Just too
Yeah, something like that.
So, you drag him back past the cart. Are you looking at all what's on the cart, or are you just going to ignore that for now?
I would, but I'm still under the effect.
I'll have your legs have returned to you.
I like basically drag myself up and check to see if I have done anything horrible, and I decide that Ishidoro doesn't lose any kind of liquids from his body. Except that like he now has a very pronounced lisp because his tongue is still like numb. So,
Right,
so I
okay.
was like, what happened? What happened? Like, do we have one?
Yes, we have one. So, you come from the nearby city, yes?
He
What were you bringing to the
he
slave camp?
just stares at 13, just won't take his eyes off her.
I smack him across the face.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Aggressive.
He just looks at you with complete contempt.
You can answer the questions nicely, or you can answer them as I slice each little bit of you off.
He, again, just sort of looks at you with total contempt.
I'm going to search him.
Okay. You find a small bag of about 20 coins. Again, just 20 more gold. You find a couple of letters. One of them mentioning, please take back X amount of ice crystals and several collars. And the final one is, why is your report late?
Do these have a date on them?
The report late one is dated, well, it says dated today, but you don't know what today's date is, so that kind of makes it irrelevant.
Okay. Well, it's obviously the more recent one. Okay. Can I search him and check if there's any amulet or locket?
There's nothing else on him.
Okay, that's good.
You search the other two drow. One of them has a list of 13 slaves with, next to them has between 1 to 3 gold.
Okay. Are any of these letters signed?
No. Some of them have got the seal stamped on them, but most of them aren't signed.
Okay, so most of them are scorpion seal or spider?
Spider.
Okay, I translate for the rest of the group.
When I get my like underground legs back, I'm going to hook up the cow to the cart and, you know, just ensure that Gazram like turns it around and points it down where they came from.
Well, we could take this cart if you want. It's gonna go over cross country, but it should be alright.
I mean, they got here.
Do we want to take the load with us? He gestures to the sort of cloth-covered stuff in the back of the cart.
What's in the back
check
of the
it
car?
first.
You pull the cloth off, and it reveals 13 rag-covered slaves. They seem to all be unconscious.
13 slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Gosh.
Hmm.
Do we just let them go?
I don't think we can.
Oh, right, there's a demon.
Yes.
They going where we going?
Yeah, I guess they're with us now.
Wake them up?
Well, let's wake them up. 13, please don't bite.
But I would wake them up.
Yeah, but like,
So-
it would, but no.
Can I lick them instead?
Yeah, you can do that.
Sure.
Gonna, like,
Oh,
run
dear.
up and start licking their faces.
Okay. Start licking their faces.
Can
It
I
has no
ask-
reaction.
Can I ask? There's no nice way of asking it. What races are these slaves?
The drow won't answer, but when you look at the piece of paper you found,
Are they alive? Like,
yes,
are they all breathing?
they don't
They
seem to
are.
be breathing, but they seem to be alive. As in, you put your fingers to their neck, they've definitely got a pulse, but they seem to be in a sort of state of weird animation. They are all wearing collars.
Do
Could
these...
I do an Arcana check? Because on the slave, so I can try and work out what it is that is keeping them unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's clearly whatever wipes memories as well.
It's very much coming from the collars.
Right.
Do we
We'll
have
have to
keys
take
for these
collars.
collars? Or?
They don't seem to have any need for keys, they just seem to be like, they're kind of like dog collars, they're just very steadily fastened.
I want to start listening in the car.
Okay. You start listening.
Do the
collars.
halflings first.
Okay. You start loosening one of the
Why
collars
would
on the
I do
halflings. You take the collar off. As you sort of peel the collar off, you realise that the collar at the back seems to have two small needles injected into the spine. When you pull them out,
Ooh.
the halfling's eyes shoot open and it sits bolt upright, looking at you quite confused.
Oh dear.
Where am I?
Do not worry.
How did I get here? Who are you?
It
What?
it is
Where's
a
my
long
clothes?
story.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna just continue to undo the colors on the other.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take a few steps back and keep watch through the door at those watchtowers that were just before unstaffed. Just keep an eye on them.
Okay.
I am going to go back to Drow, and I don't particularly want to roleplay a torture scene.
No, but he won't listen to you
I
anyway,
want
regardless. You can literally
Sorry?
cut bits off him and he won't speak to you. He just looks at you with total contempt.
I am associating with non-Drow.
He won't even make eye contact with you.
Can I see anything on him or about him that tells me either religion or house?
Nope. He seems to be castless.
That's very odd. Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna try and like basically as soon as people start waking up, and I let Layla know not to wake the Quaggoth up like we do it in the last when everyone else has woken up. But essentially any above ground races like halflings and stuff I can communicate with, especially the Dragonkin. I will talk them down from their panic, taking the time to like kind of explain to them what has happened, ask Gazarim to talk to the dwarves in Dwarven so that they know what's going on as well.
Okay.
Just kind of like delegate it so that we cover as much possible and spend a less amount of time just kind of convincing these people to calm down a bit.
Okay. So after about 5-10 minutes, you've taken all the collars off. Again, they all seem to have these spikes into the spine, which once you remove, they seem to wake up. None of them remember how they got here. The last thing they remembered was they were ambushed by Drow.
Okay. I hand over one of the collars to 13 and tell her to see if she finds anything like a potion or any kind of poison that's causing their memory from the spikes.
13's gonna sniff it.
Okay. Roll for sniffing.
Would that be alchemy?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if that doesn't work, she does have another plan, but everyone's probably going to shout at her.
Is it
God.
Ishidoro's basic plan, like eat?
If in doubt.
No.
eat it. There's nothing alchemical about it. You look at it and it does seem to have these two barbs on these spikes, but that's about it.
She's going to go put the collar on the drow.
Okay.
Oh,
You put the collar on the drow is immediately unconscious.
That was-
Ta-da!
We could probably just throw him back on the cart.
true. I'm more concerned about these collars. Do they just like tap into some kind of... Is this magic or... Can you check if they're magic?
I will try. I suspect it's chemical, but I'll check Arcana.
I'd like to roll alchemy myself, but
Are very much fell magic and they're suppression collars.
okay, that's enough. I will not eat it.
Wow.
Would I know or be able to sense through the Arcana whether that can erase memories?
No, it just basically blocks memory from when they're put on to when they're removed.
Okay, so they're
Puts the
caught
target in a
and
sort of
these are-
sense of suspended animation.
Right.
allowing them to
Okay,
be
so
very easily moved.
ambush. Yeah.
I asked all the slaves collectively if they remember being above ground when they were ambushed.
They all sort of look around and say, "What do you mean above ground?"
Like, okay, I did explain this during the orientation, but we're in the Underdark.
All of them just sort of look around, just very confused.
I point at the unconscious Drow. I'm like, the Underdark? Drow? These guys? They don't have any recognition.
I'm going to walk over and go, yes, you are in the Underdark. Where the cart was going, there is now a demon rampaging around. Unfortunately, that means you are probably stuck with coming with us if you want to avoid recapture. Drow are not kind to those who try to run.
They all seem to sort of nod as one, and they sort of get back onto the cart with Gazrim.
I would suggest, like, kind of before you get onto the cart, there's an armory nearby. Try and find whatever you can as a weapon.
I think we should take them to get armored.
Yeah,
Okay. You
I
take
should start
them
handing
to the
out
drow
drow
armory,
armor.
and a couple of them find some basic drow armor to pull on, and some of them now have more of the shock things that Ishi got earlier.
Okay.
I'm like, be careful with those. Yeah.
Is the Quaggoth now
No,
conscious?
Quaggoth is still unconscious. You didn't wake him up.
Okay.
Okay, maybe not surround him with weapons. Not be afraid.
Yes. That would... Yes.
Surround him with people in drow
We'll deal
armor
with
and
that.
weapons. That'll go down so well.
We'll deal with that once we get to Gravenhollow.
Apart from the slaves, was there anything else on the cart?
Not really, no. It's just the cloth that covered them all.
Okay.
Okay, so for now, like when we're riding in it, I will suggest that whoever's on the back of the cart just hold the cloth over them like a tent sort of thingy. Just like kind of keep it above them so that they're hidden.
Okay.
Yeah.
And essentially, it's just for priests to use the cart.
Sure.
More likely that like if Drow see us, then they won't be alarmed.
I would like to check in on Stool at this point.
Stool is... He seems shaken. He seems still quite distraught by the fact he's heard Eric basically be ripped to shreds and crying for a while, but apart from that, he's quite shaken, but he seems okay considering.
Okay. I'm guessing he's probably slightly better that we're saving more slaves. Okay, that's fine.
As you...
I will sit at the front of the cart and let him sit beside me or go and talk to people as he wishes.
Okay. As you leave the sort of slaver camp, and Gazrim immediately turns to the right and heads cross-country off the road. He points off to the left, and in the distance you can see on the sort of mountain edge obvious lights. It's kind of... You know one of those desert scenes where you see Vegas far off and it's like all these lights sparkling on a sort of city that never sleeps?
Yes.
And he goes,
Yeah.
"That's Menzabaranzan. We ain't going there.
Why not?
That's where the Drow live."
Let's just say
It's
you
a
don't
big
have
Drow
enough teeth
city.
to bite all. Yeah, you don't have enough teeth to bite everybody.
I
Looks
know
like the kind of place I
name.
could get a hat.
You might be turned into a hat.
Then it'd be all
I
hat.
wouldn't put it past him.
I do the
No,
thing.
neither
I
would
do
I.
I do the thing that everyone does with a child, and I go, maybe later.
This seems to content 13. And she probably starts now annoyingly asking one of the halflings, like, inane question.
Do I recognise the name of Menzabaranzan?
You recognise it as being one of the most important cities, but it's one of those ones that's like, you know, there's several cities named the same thing everywhere.
But
It seems to just be a very common Drow name.
do I know if it's likely to be a lol city?
It's got a good chance it will be.
Okay.
So, as for the next day and a half, you ride cross country, and eventually you come to this massive cave, which looks like it's got a huge like stone covering on the outside. And Gazrim stops the cart and he goes, "Right, does anyone know how to knock on a stone door?"
What?
I have my hammer.
I look at Rasthikos, I'm like,
Does
Go for
this
it.
suffice?
Oh, I don't really know how you're meant to ring a bell, because, you know, them giants are in there, but I've no idea how to get them.
did they not know we were coming?
Well, they knew we were coming the other way, and unless you feel like another 3-day journey around to get to the main door,
I
So
see.
you say we have to ring a bell?
well,
Well, wait.
knock on the door, you know, they'll let us in.
Rasthikos, wait. Stool, can you sense any giants nearby behind that door?
Still sort of looks at you, and then the faraway look in his eyes, and comes back and says, "No."
Okay.
Bang on it with the hammer!
There might not be anyone within listening distance, though. That could be a lot of noise and vibrations.
Yeah, well, we're pretty far from the Drow city now. Traveled a day, you know.
As you
If we've traveled across country in the Underdark, I'm guessing if anything could see your heroes already, it would have.
Probably.
I mean, again, I can't see in the dark. I don't have as much vision as the rest of you.
Okay. I carry stool with me to the stone door and, basically light Rasthikos' way.
I mean, I presume we've had other light sources than stool, considering we have 13 new slaves with us.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
We do, yes. Well, we do.
We've only got one mic.
In any case,
Well, we found a lot of cloth. I'm
Oh, right,
sure we
okay.
could at the very least make some torches.
Yeah, okay, I suppose.
I mean,
I will
Or more of the light stones.
if 13
Especially-
could make a bomb, I'm certain she could make torches.
Yeah, I'm not going to use stool like a flashlight then, and then just kind of...
I'll walk up to the cliff face and just first knock with my hand on the rock. See if there is any
It's a
response.
solid rock, there is no response.
Right, then I'll knock
Give it a good
bit
swing.
harder with the haft of the hammer. Harder than with the hand, but not quite hitting it with the hammer head. If
Roll,
there's still no response, then I'll actually...
roll a d20 to see if there's any response.
Right.
Nope.
Then I'll hit it with the actual hammer then.
Okay, roll.
Right.
The door rumbles very loudly and opens, and ahead of you is a massive giant wielding an even larger hammer. And as he sort of looks down,
That's
he
a
goes,
given. It's... I raise an eyebrow.
I look at Gazrun and go, "You're our translator."
Right. Let me see if I got this right. Grr, 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 grr.
That didn't
and
sound
he just
very
looks
good.
at the giant. The giant just stares a hole through him and just like,
13 waves.
Oh dear.
and Gazum just goes,
Oh, for bloody hell. We're expected, you bastard.
and the giant turns round and sort of waves as in follow.
Okay, we shall follow him then.
I might want to bring up the gem soon enough.
I'd tell everybody in the cart what's going on, like why we're here.
I mean, I'm presuming we've recapped it in the journey
the day and
here.
a half's journey, yeah, you've probably recapped it all. So you sort of enter Gravenhollow, which is a massive, massive stone hall. And as you get to the sort of centre of Gravenhollow where the cart stops, you sort of vaguely recognise the markings of the giant that you met before, who again just turns to you and goes,
I am going to keep my hood up and keep well back.
Gazrum just sort of
If
looks
I
at him.
remember correctly.
Gazum
They
just
do
sort
not
of looks
like
at him and
Drow.
goes,
Yeah, that's right. Hello again. Yeah, that's right. Aye, demons, aye. Hey, you got a forge somewhere. They've got one of them stones. Aye, that's right, one of them. Right, he tells you the forge is over that way.
Okay?
I march with the bag that has the demon gem in it, and
Okay.
I basically look at Rasthikos and I'm like, "You're the guy with the hammer. Let's go."
Alright, so you basically get down, you work your way along, and eventually you come to this massive, massive stone forge. And after about 5 minutes of Gazrum checking if it's blessed, he goes,
Right, that's fine then. Give it a good smashing.
I tell him to warn the giants that if they do feel hungry, they might feel hungry as soon as the gem comes out. Perhaps not at best.
He says, don't worry, he's eaten at 2-3 people already today.
Did he say people? Did you say
I think
people?
he's trying to have a joke. You can't really tell with giants.
13 laughs uproariously. It was a funny joke.
Yeah, it was that funny. Shut up, you.
I basically do that weird thing where like you're doing a magic trick with Rasthikos, like kind of waiting to like push the bag away, and as soon as it's open, like kind of just like coordinating with him.
So you
And
go
then
like
I
da
push the
da
bag away.
da da, and then pull a bucket out of the bag.
Yeah, and then just like put the bucket on the thing, and I'm like just like point at it and like go for it.
Are you gonna smash it in the bucket?
Yeah, I mean, bucket
Alright.
served its purpose.
Alright, so there's a bucket sitting on the altar. What are you gonna do?
More like a
Open it?
jute bag. No, it's like a jute bag. Like I don't want to touch the gem.
Oh, for
Just
fuck's sake.
overturn the bucket.
Okay, I overturned the bucket.
Okay, strong alkali rolls
Two
down
more
the edge of the
buckets
forge
appear.
and it begins to start fizzing. And the giants are pointing at the fact that the altar is now fizzing.
Oh, don't you
Rasthikos,
worry about
now.
that. It's just some container fluid. Oh, don't be grumpy. It'll be done in a minute.
If the dwarf, if the giant doesn't move to do anything about it, then I'll smash the gem with the hammer.
Okay, roll to smash the gem. Yep.
That's a 16.
You smash the gem, it shatters completely. Immediately all of you stop feeling the sort of ravenous hunger you've felt for the past few days.
And I gesture at the giant like, come on, why do I have to do everything?
Gazrim just sort of turns to you and goes,
He says that's very interesting. He'd never seen anything like that before.
Break it.
Right, what?
Oh, I'm really freaked out by the giant's response.
Well, you see, they've never known how to deal with demons. Till you lot came along.
Well,
Okay.
But you showed us how, Sir Dwarf.
Well,
Yes, you
no,
told
I
us
read it in a
how.
book, you see. One of the 3 books we had in Guntelgrim.
okay.
But you never told the stone giant.
Well, you see, I got a trip down here, and I've never really been outside of the city in a long time, and it seemed like an adventure, you know. The only way to become a
That-
true bard is to go exploring and all that.
Quite.
I just,
And
I just
in fairness,
Rust-
unless you know how to make the demon into the gem, it's not much help.
That'd be true.
Can I inspect Rasthikos' hammer if it's picked up any kind of like properties, demonic properties after smashing 2 gems?
no, you look it over, it seems to be completely fine. It seems that the blessing on the forge has counteracted any demon.
Yeah, okay.
You all sort of walk back towards the cart where there's another giant going. And Gazrim nods and goes,
That's right. Couple of days R&R. That's exactly what we need.
so you all get
Can-
escorted to surprisingly smallish rooms considering that everyone else here is giants. And you basically get like the first like proper night's sleep you've had in a long time.
I'm gonna wear the pajamas.
We haven't kept the pajamas this entire time. Have you just tucked them under an arm?
Think safely.
Yeah, I
with them.
tucked them into my top, but you know,
For 3 days.
yeah.
They're proper pajamas though.
I didn't want anybody to know that I took like this pretty pajamas out of the. It's really awkward when you're this like really strong infernal creature.
Just want comfortable
it's
pajamas.
the pantaloons. of
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
you're not a.
Being infernal doesn't mean that you can't have a good aesthetic taste.
comfort. Also, pajamas are universal.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Even
know.
the Drow know that a good pair of pajamas make you feel better after a day of slaving.
I think Layla's just generally awkward. After I put the pajamas on, then I took the sword out. The sword and I spoke at the sword about the terrible things that I've been doing lately and does it make me a bad person? Because
No,
I really
you
didn't
are
mean to
not a
hit
bad
Rasthikos on the head with the spade, and I also didn't mean to like rip 13's finger off. And I'm pretty sure I've contributed to the death of at least 3 other people.
The sword basically tells you that you are a wonderful person, and as long as you keep the sword on you, you will be a wonderful person. Just don't put the sword down, ever.
That's fine. Because that would have comforted Layla. So,
The sword basically goes,
My lady, you are nothing to worry about. It is a magic sword thing about killing. Killing comes naturally. It is nothing. It is not something to be upset about.
Oh my god.
They all had it coming. It's just if you got there first on me.
I was going to say that. He's just like, everyone else is wrong, you're fine.
Oh jeez.
If Rasthikos can see the sword, he'll sort of do a comparison, quality-wise, between the sword and his hammer. Which has the nicer craftsmanship.
The sword looks very well crafted, but it seems quite attached to Layla.
Yeah.
Also, it's annoyingly loud.
Yeah, I mean, Rasthikos doesn't really care about that bit. This was just a hammer he picked up in a warehouse. That's a magical talking sword that's well crafted.
You're a bit jealous.
It's purely an ego thing for Rasthikos.
I'll pick my neighbour's sword.
13's going to catch him doing this sort of comparison, and she's going to come up and be like, "Do you want my dagger? It's super stabby." And like,
No, that's like... I can't decide if that's threatening or like really adorable. Like it's like
you know, she's got all these cool shiny things because she's picking all the shit up. And
yeah, but like she's sharing.
He's done
like
us.
I mean, I already have a short sword. Maybe it's just on me for presuming that the magical sword is larger than just a tiny short sword. But if 13 comes up and offers her little dagger, I'll show her that I already have a short sword and say, I have the stabby that I need. You keep yours.
Alright.
Character development. 13 learns how to share.
The sword sort of whispers to Layla, because the sword, as you remember, can hear from a ridiculous distance away. And he goes,
My lady, it seems that someone is envious of your magic sword.
I sure wish the sword would be quite happy. Like,
he's quite bragging about the fact that someone else wants him.
Well, considering that I haven't come in handy really in combat recently, maybe Rasthikos knows how to use you much better than I do.
No, I think you should keep me. I think we combine each other so well. You know, you have the beauty, and I also have the beauty too.
I'm not sure that's what makes swords useful.
I do not wish to be wielded by a stone lump.
wow. It's like,
How loud does the sword speak?
Very loud.
Quite loud.
It's probably
Screaming.
Right.
I'd like to say I am categorically not in this place, and I'm making sure all the other slaves are happy, sort of content.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
13's headband. What's the resolution with that?
13's headband contained a jewel sewn into the headband itself. You're not sure what the jewel does.
Right.
What does it taste like?
When you lick it,
gonna bite
it
it.
tastes like slight burning.
Tastes like burning!
I'm very proud.
I want to know what the magic is. What is it that's in that gem?
Roll Arcana. It is a heightened sense headband. The gem basically uses some sort of spell energy to increase the hearing and sight and basically sense of smell of the wearer so that they can know if slaves are plotting.
Ah. Would it have any detrimental effects on the
send you
wearer?
fucking star crazy, yes, but the Drow don't really care about that.
I look at 13.
13 grins.
It means you'll know things, but you might go insane. But I'm not sure we could tell the difference anyway, and hand it back.
13's gonna put it back on.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that by this point I've got the 13 slaves we rescued to realise that no.
Don't kill the Drow.
If you kill me, you're probably not getting out of here. But also, no, leave the poor were-rat alone.
So the were-rat's very content. They've not seen as many like proper feral were-rats, so they don't really care. They literally just arrive from wherever they came from. They've not seen the slavers with their packs of were-rats and stuff, so they don't know why they should fear a were-rat.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm going to continue to comfort Stool because...
He still seems
Left.
quite traumatized, despite everything else.
I mean,
Well,
he's been through so much with us.
Yeah.
he's been through a lot, and that was his friend. That's the first one he was actually attached to.
Cold silence returns. The waters lay still, for this week at least. Join us again next week for more of our tale. This podcast is an adaptation of Out of the Abyss, a 5th edition D&D adventure. It was adapted from the original story by Nikolai Popsky. The podcast features Nikolai, Dragon, Shiraz, Freya, Susie Q, Tauno, and Wednesday LeFay. All music was written and performed by Daniel Boström. Artwork was by John Moore. And if you, dear listener, wish to acquire your own sets of finest metal or acrylic adventuring dice, then journey through the Underdark to dndice.co.uk and speak the name Penance RPG at the checkout for a 5% discount off your order. Farewell and Godspeed, for we fear the madness is closing in. Good night out there, whatever you are. Ha 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 ha.